We have Chris Parrish in studio with us, writer-director. He's from right here in Woodstock, and the name of the movie is Thrill Ride. You may have heard Tyler from the afternoon show talking about it. They had a premiere at Classic Cinemas in Woodstock. The movie is now available in Blu-ray and DVD. You can grab it. Chris, let's talk about this, man, because, you know, to make a movie, I just saw the movie The Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing you to it at all. Don't worry about that. But the amount
I love the book.
The amount of work that goes into making a movie, and here it is, all packaged up and nice. It's available right now. But give us a little bit of a snapshot what the movie is about.
Sure.
What people will expect when they throw it in the Blu-ray or their DVD.
Well, Joe, it's essentially Goonies meets Night at the Museum. It's about a group of 3 kids who go on a treasure hunt looking for Al Capone's lost fortune in an indoor amusement park. So it's a really fun family adventure if people are like fans of the Goonies or Jumanji. And the whole movie is comes from an idea based on my sons. My son Mason came up with this idea when he was 9.
Okay, so the background here, and it's great because kids' imaginations, you have that, you have the mix of that, and then you talk about the different genres, what the movie's about. Thrill Ride, and Chris Parrish is with us right now. And so your son comes up with like a semblance of this movie. Mm-hmm. How does Al Capone get into it? Was that something he knew of?
Do you remember the Geraldo fiasco back in the 80s?
Are you kidding? So, yeah, anyone who's not familiar, Geraldo Rivera opened up a safe that belonged to Al Capone.
Yeah.
And it ended up being like some glass bottles.
Yeah, it was
basically.
like nothing. It was nothing.
No, it was awful.
In our movie, the kid's father he's this aspiring archaeologist. And his backstory is he was convinced that he found Al Capone's fortune, opened up this big trunk, and it was a bunch of dirty underwear.
Okay. All right. Got it. I like that part of it. And then there's what? They somehow it leads to the Thrill Ride, the name of the movie.
Yeah. So the kid finds these old blueprints. The backstory is in the 1930s, Al Capone hires this out-of-work architect who's played by Tim Kazurinsky. From the Police Academy.
Of course,
movie.
Tim Kazurinsky's a Chicago guy. I mean, he's one of those guys that you have to know about.
The greatest guy in the world. And so we shoot the opening with Al Capone at the right in front of the Woodstock Opera House. And this movie was like 3 years in the making because we're this independent film that has 400 special effects in it, which is completely insane.
Yeah, so you look at, like, when people make an independent film, the whole idea is to, like, you know...
Keep it real low budget.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have a big studio backing you where it's like, whatever you need CGI, do it. If you do independent film, they're like, yeah, you're going to do your own stunt.
Yeah, if it's independent film, it's like 2 guys in a room, smoking a cigarette, and that's it. And don't open the window because then you'll have to light for that.
Right, yeah.
But with us, we have this underground roller coaster and a dragon and monsters, and it's just this insane endeavor. But we really reached out to the community. I'm a screenwriting professor at DePaul University in Chicago at their film school. And because of DePaul and because of the Flashpoint Tribeca Film School, we all just kind of chipped in together. The students worked on the special effects, and they turn it into this year-long project.
This is real-life experience you're talking about.
Yeah.
They added to the real. Like, they go, I was part of Thrill Ride, this movie that was written and produced, and I did the effects on it, and it's released in the theaters, and now here we have it.
And by the time they graduate, they have an IMDb credit. One guy went on to work on the last Star Wars movie.
Wow, no kidding.
And it's amazing also what you can do with just software that you can buy off the shelf.
That's so cool.
And the whole movie, We lost Mason to cancer when he was 10.
So, yeah, I want to back up a second. Chris Parrish is with us, writer-director from Woodstock. Thrill Ride is the movie. You heard a little bit of a synopsis on it. Al Capone theme park, a cross between like a Goonies and a Jumanji, that kind of genre on it. Your son, it was made in memory of your son, Mason Parrish, who passed away. So you started to talk about it. I want to give people a background.
Oh, sure.
The movie's available right now, and talk about where people can get it real quick, please.
You can order it off of Amazon. You can get it off of iTunes, stream it off iTunes. It's on DVD. You can rent it or buy it off of Video On Demand, YouTube.
So it's available.
Target.com.
Just
everywhere.
Search Thrill Ride is what you need to search.
Thrill Ride DVD or Thrill Ride Kristen Johnston. She stars in it from Third Rock from the Sun.
Of course. Tall glass of water.
She's Esmeralda, the crazy sea hag. Lucas Jade Zuman, who starred with Elle Fanning last year in 20th Century Women, is Henry, stars as our young lead. My son's name was Mason Henry, so of course.
Nice. I like that. Little
Henry.
homage there. So you were talking about, so was your son around when the movie started? Your son passed away from, it was a
brain tumor,
a rare, incurable form of brain cancer, which, I'm really sorry to hear, but I think what you've done in making this movie, that had to be kind of a healing process for you, right?
It was just such an incredible opportunity to make sure Mason's memory goes on, and also 50 cents out of every dollar we make on this movie goes to funding pediatric brain tumor research and providing handicapped accessible vans for kids who are dealing with catastrophic illnesses. And the other 50 cents of every dollar we make is going to go into doing the next kids film. Mason's mandate was to do movies where the kids are the heroes. And so we're just kind of,
And who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like that? All these different movies that you watch these days, anytime. My kids gravitate toward that stuff. Whenever it's a kid, because it gets their imagination running. Their imagination starts going like, wow, look at these kids.
It's kid empowerment.
They're accomplishing this stuff that usually only like a superhero or an adult would be doing in a movie.
Joe, that's exactly what Mason said. The whole idea came, sorry. I got a little frog in my throat.
Okay.
The whole idea came from after Mason and I saw Night at the Museum. And he said, Dad, I really like that movie, but why was Ben Stiller the hero? They should have made his son the hero.
Aww. Yeah, like they could have in the second one. Or, after you learned about that character in the first one, they kind of start working them into it. True.
Right. And I said, that's a really good idea, Mason.
Yeah.
And then he said, and why did they set it in a museum? Why didn't they put it somewhere cool like an amusement park? I'm like, I got to pull over and write this down.
There's the movie. There's the movie.
Exactly.
Thrill Ride. Chris Parrish is with us, writer-director from Woodstock. And, I admire what you're doing. I mean, this is great, and I'm hoping to see other things from you. I'm just such a movie buff in the process of it and love watching it. I mean, we probably could talk for hours and hours about movies and directing your favorite movies and, some of your favorite shots in movies. I have, my top 5 that I think about.
Oh,
my
yeah.
all-time. And I'll see, are you a Goodfellas fan?
Big time.
So my favorite shot, this is like geeky movie.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Wait, we're going to become, hold on, I'm standing up for Chris Parrish.
Oh, boy.
No, my favorite shot, and I think it's one of the best shots that was ever done in a movie, is the kitchen scene in Goodfellas.
When Henry goes, yep.
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Because it's one continuous
it's
shot.
One shot. I rage about that shot all the time. See, that's
amazing.
The geeky stuff. So I know we could hang out and have some fun.
Absolutely.
Because the way they do that shot where he walks in, they go through the back door, and there's waiters and waitresses crossing in front. And to get that shot, everything had to go right, and I'm sure you had your good days and bad days on the set of Thrill Ride, right?
Oh, and we also did not have the Scorsese budget.
No, of course not.
Right, yeah.
Right, yeah, it would have been nice. Or to have that bankroll of something, a character.
Exactly.
The envelopes from the wedding in Goodfellas.
Yeah, that would have been helpful.
That would have been great.
Absolutely.
So, that had to be. So, did you jump in front of the camera? Are you in the movie too?
I have a small cameo.
Okay.
I play a cheesy pirate in a fish and chips restaurant.
Okay.
I'm Blackbeard, or Bluebeard the pirate in this cheesy blue.
You have to make a pitch. Do you have any lines?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Hey,
everybody, come on down to Bluebeard's Fish and Chips. chips where you could get a bucket of fish and chips for $4.99 and a pop.
So it is. Is it a Chicago accent or
That was my attempt at a Chicago accent.
It's like Chicago. Well, it's Al Capone.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's fun, man. Well, congratulations on it in memory of your late son, Mason Parrish. It was great. Tyler did such a good job when you guys were out. You did
she's wonderful.
The big premiere, and I was listening, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And so I knew that the movie was going to come out, so we wanted to have you in to talk about and stuff.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Very inspiring. Thank you.
And keep us in mind for any roles, man, because
Absolutely.
I would love to, or just if you start shooting stuff, I will just come. I'd like to come and just watch the process and stuff and see how it goes.
I grew up on a farm in Bull Valley shooting in our barn. So
it's great, man.
Next time we shot in Woodstock, we shot in Chicago. You're in. Next time, I promise.
And I know, well, my son just got a camera. One of his aunts got an Amazon gift card. So he just got like one of those GoPro cameras. So like now he's everything, he's videoing everything that he sees. And I'm like, you got to do something with it, though. Don't just take it. You got to dump it in the computer and try to, cut it up and stuff like that. And I like that he enjoys that.
We used a GoPro. We have this scene where the kids get stuck in this underground pipe.
Yeah.
And we shot at the old Cocoa Key water park in Rockford.
Oh, no kidding.
And so our
awesome.
cameraman
Yeah.
had a GoPro, and we shoot him down the water slide on his back.
Yeah.
So we shoot him down on the water slide on his back, and it looks like the kids are falling out of control in place. Yeah. So, no, it's a really fun scene. I think in terms of cinematography, that was probably like the craziest camera work that we did. Yeah.
So is there like a director's cut too? Because now I want a director's
I know,
cut.
right?
Well, I'll come to everyone's house and just talk about shooting it if they want.
Chris Parrish from Woodstock. The movie is Thrill Ride in honor of his late son. And you'll just come over give him some popcorn.
Yeah.
Extra $5. Sure.
It's okay, good. Yeah, put it in. And what were you thinking in this scene, Chris? Tell me that. Pause it. Take 9 hours to get through the movie. So. Well, Chris, that was fun, man. We'll have to have you come back on as you start working on more stuff.
I'd love to, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Thank you. Chris Parrish, the name of the movie, Thrill Ride. And if you want, we have a couple copies to give away, Tina Bree.
Yes, we do.
Let's
we
do
have
it.
a little
Let's do it.
popcorn bucket, some
Sweet.
popcorn for like a family movie night.
Okay, great. 800-861-1055. Let's do callers 10, 11, 12. 800-861-1055. Chris Parrish from Woodstock. Name of the movie is Thrill Ride.